This is a clip, from Conversations Part 1, and because the lady in the clip didn't want to be represented, and it's mostly me talking, I'm just going to play me. Begin it now.
And there's a lot of things at stake. A lot of people have a lot of new job security at stake and whatnot, and a lot of things I say, they sound like there's some ruthless conspiracy going on. That's because there is. If you look at the police, there's organizations, political organizations, there's military organizations, there's street organizations. I've seen the Aryan Brotherhood referred to as a violent secret society. And why did they describe them first as a secret society and not a gang or prison gang, anything else of that nature? It's because they insisted that way, because they wanted to be seen as helping the white power structure create the greater work. And you see this in the institutions, the military institutions, the psychiatric institutions, the institutions at our schools, our education system. We see that in the policies and the school board and the people who design the programs. We see that in the difference between Christian school, boarding school, private school, public school. We see that in reform schools, which are reformed institutions as well, that also have a close relationship with psychiatric wards. And we see that in infirmaries and prison, where we see a lot of racist psychiatrists work who are indifferent to the patient's actual suffering, and they see him as a scumbag, as a criminal who should be experimented on and deserves his punishment, as they see the people in the psych ward who they spend only a few minutes talking to. And the counselors at school, their job is to get paid to get as many people they can to be recruited, and the sound is genuine and as caring as possible. And every once in a while there are those who care, but they know that their job is comparable to a used car salesman or something of that nature, a drug dealer. So one thing I was talking to you earlier about is, what is the difference between the guy, Antolin Garcia Torres, who is accused of kidnapping Sierra Lamar, who created the environment and took advantage of the environment and created a mini environment where it was a kind of underground relationship where they take advantage of her susceptibility to being kidnapped because of her drug habit. She was having trouble
Some playback issues.
kicking her drug habit.
Start back.
And in the end, he must have been able to get close enough to her to make his move. She struggled. He was able to tase her probably multiple times and take her away. And what's the difference between that and the murder that resulted in the environment the guy created with those very intentions, and what the white power structure is doing using our school system and selective law enforcement, selective education, selective funding? We see people that collaborate with the government that are militias and provocateurs, white racist organizations, Satanists, anarchists, some who will infiltrate protests and assault police officers just to undermine people's cause. So after we've seen all the things we've seen, all the scandals, Iran-Contra, we've seen Watergate, we've seen a lot of scandals, a lot of political scandals. The Bay of Pigs, there was a lot of cocaine being brought in from Colombia. San Jose Mercury News covered a story on how the cocaine was being distributed from Nicaragua to the black communities, and there were suspicious circumstances in the death of the person who wrote that article, as well as the code of silence being about the California prison system, which overlaps with psychiatrists who have confidentiality agreements that work with the prisons. There's police officers working at psych wards, and there are psychiatrists working in prisons. It's part of making people fall in line. So, the story I'm about to tell you, it may be disturbing. To me, it's very disturbing because it is true, and everything I say to you is the absolute truth. I'm not going to swear on the Bible because I've done it a couple times and I already regret it, even though I was telling the truth. And now, as I've promised, it's time to bring down that white power structure that oppresses us all. My personal story takes me everywhere from going to Carden Private School as a child, to Cornerstone Christian School in Gilroy, to Sea-Doo, Ascent, Webb schools where you had some of the top elite children going there. It takes me to many different college campuses, community colleges, adult schools. I've been in many different environments, and I've studied them as the shy guy, taking mental notes, observing, trying to decide what school is best for me to excel, what my problem really is. And my problem has always remained the same, is that the nutrition, based on my lack of close proximity to the places I like to eat, is one of the problems. Problem with being shy and how it clashes in the environment. I gave the example of somebody allergic to, say, milk, and they lived on a milk processing plant, for example. The milk residue everywhere, cows milking everywhere. They wouldn't be too comfortable. I use the example of a black living during the time of segregation during the Civil Rights Movement. He wouldn't be too comfortable. So what has taken place here precisely is there is